What is up, guys? We are down to the last month here before the draft, and I can hardly wait. It is time for the Colts 7-round mock draft as requested by Braden Wright. I appreciate all the requests, guys. Keep them coming. Comment below with which team I should do next and why I should do that team, and I'll try to get as many as I can before the draft is here. The Colts were an intriguing team because they're in an interesting spot. For those of you that have seen my last mock, you know that I believe that there's going to be a quarterback taken in the first 4 picks of the draft, whether it be the Bills, Broncos, Dolphins, or Cardinals that trade up to number 4. But if no one trades up and the Broncos pass on a quarterback, the Colts are in a position to trade down again. In this scenario, the Bills make the most sense for who would want to trade up for that final quarterback, and they have the ammunition to do so, most likely for Josh Allen. Stay tuned to the end of the video to see the alternate trade down scenario with the Bills. Make sure you check out my most recent mock draft with trades to see the unique scenario I have playing out when you're done here. Also, I'm thinking about breaking up my next mock draft into 2 or 3 videos so that I can go into more detail about each one without the video going on too long. Let me know what you guys think about that idea, or if I should just keep them the same as the previous few mock draft videos. Alright, Colts fans, before we get started, I have a challenge for you. The bar was set by Browns fans in the first 7-round mock draft I did, and that is 200 likes on this video. Nobody wants to be worse than the Browns, so hit that like button. It really helps this channel continue to make videos like this one, and I would really appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Now let's get to the picks. With the 6th overall pick, I have the Colts selecting NC State edge rusher Bradley Chubb. Bradley Chubb has been the consensus pick for the Colts since they were number 3, and that's why it was such a clutch trade down on their part that they'd still be able to get him at 6. But I'm not sure if they're even done trading down yet at this point. For the sake of this mock, I'm not going to do trades, and I've already given you a hint on who the trade down could be with. And you know you'd get those 2 first-round picks at the very least. The Colts are undergoing a defensive scheme change and would really benefit from a truckload of picks to get as many young prospects as possible to assist in the transition. Bradley Chubb is a defensive centerpiece. I mean, the guy's about to get all 4 members of the NC State defensive line drafted because he was so dominant and made their jobs easier. Chubb was nicknamed Tigger as a baby because he's always bouncing around, and that shows on the field because he's got a non-stop motor. Having a legit edge guy makes any defensive scheme much more effective. In the 2nd round, with pick number 36, I have the Colts selecting Texas linebacker Malik Jefferson. The Colts' new cover 2 defense needs players with speed that can attack downhill rather than sit back and react style of their 3-4 defense. One reason Colts Stadium is so great for the NFL Combine is because that the field is like a racetrack and the athleticism really shows up when guys are running around there. Moving back to a 4-3 cover 2 defense makes so much sense because it's a lot easier to find college prospects to fit the scheme since only a few programs run a 3-4. That's also what the Colts employed when Peyton Manning was there, so you guys know what I'm talking about. Malik Jefferson is a super athletic linebacker who specializes in playing in an attacking style. He was one of the only impact players in the Longhorns defense during his time there and was asked to do quite a bit. I think he could play any linebacker spot in a 4-3, but the weak side would really allow him to run wild. With the very next pick, I have the Colts selecting Ohio State center guard Billy Price. The Colts have already drafted their center of the future in Ryan Kelly, but Billy Price has experience starting at guard and could add a mean streak to the Colts offensive line. The Colts O-line has sadly been neglected during Andrew Luck's career, and now that the defense has been addressed, it's time to invest in the big guys up front. Billy Price actually tore his pec at the NFL Combine, and that's the only reason he would even be available here. Otherwise, he'd be a lock first-round pick. But it's fitting that he returns to the scene of the injury to play out his NFL career. In the 2nd round, with the 49th pick, I have the Colts selecting Oregon running back Royce Freeman. I know the Colts fans probably wanted to see a running back drafted a lot earlier than this, and the Colts may see the position as a greater need than I do after letting Frank Gore go, but I believe in Marlon Mack, and I think a compliment to him with every down back potential is worth waiting for. Royce Freeman is way too underrated going into this draft in my opinion. He might even be available with their 3rd round pick, but I wouldn't let him slip past number 49 if I'm Chris Ballard. Freeman is the leading rusher in Oregon school history, and that's saying something considering the long line of running backs who have come out of their spread offense. In the 3rd round, with pick number 67, I have the Colts selecting West Georgia offensive tackle Desmond Harrison. Like I said before, the Colts need to invest in the big guys up front and should look to spend 2 picks in the top 70 on offensive linemen. Desmond Harrison is a combine star after running a 4.9 40 and is one of the best athletes you'll ever see at offensive tackle in any draft. He's raw and doesn't have a ton of experience, but he could start at right tackle for the Colts with potential to eventually become a starting left tackle, capable of keeping up with the most athletic edge rushers. He was originally enrolled at the University of Texas but was dismissed for multiple team violations. So the team interviews are going to go a long way for telling where this guy is drafted, but if his journey through West Georgia has matured him, he's got a really high ceiling at the NFL level. In the 4th round, with pick number 104, I have the Colts selecting Florida cornerback Duke Dawson. The Colts are going to need Quincy Wilson to step his game up this year, and they re-signed Pierre Desir this offseason. That gives the Colts a couple big outside cornerbacks. Duke Dawson would give the Colts a high-level nickel cornerback and would reunite the Gator teammates. Dawson has good instincts and is capable in run support. In the 5th round with pick number 140, I have the Colts selecting Fort Hays State defensive tackle Nathan Shepard. The Colts released John Hankins because he was not going to fit in their faster defensive unit, but they could use another interior defensive lineman that can stop the run and collapse the pocket. Nate Shepard is another combine star from a small school, but he just looks like a guy you want on your football team. This guy is chiseled at 6'5", 315 and was a disruptive, albeit at Fort Hays, which is Division II, but his quickness off the line is a trait that will definitely translate to the pro level. In the 6th round with pick number 178, I have the Colts selecting Indiana wide receiver Simmie Cobbs Jr. For those of you that have been keeping up with all these 7-round mock drafts, you know I have a few wide receivers in this class that I'm really a fan of. I'm from Charlottesville, Virginia, and I saw Simmie Cobbs dominate UVA, and I instantly fell in love with his abilities after the catch. The knock on him is that he's too slow and won't get much separation at the next level, but I'm not buying that. He can bully defensive backs, and his catch radius will allow him to make contested catches consistently. With his size, he could even move to tight end and be a matchup issue. In the 7th round with pick number 222, I have the Colts selecting Clemson safety Van Smith. The Colts are actually set at safety with Malik Hooker and Clayton Geathers. Assuming they stay healthy, they are a perfect complement to each other. But that's a big assumption thus far, and the Colts should look to add an insurance policy at the position. Van Smith left Clemson early and is a small, rangy safety. He's also a special team stud and could play some nickel cornerback in a pinch. And I promised you guys the second mock with the trade down scenario, so here it is. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Make sure that we hit that like button. The goal is 200 likes for this video. I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.